Welcome back to Home Day, everyone. There is a lot to think about before you tackle your renovation. Designer Kimberley Seldon is here to talk about the built-ins you should be considering when designing your space. Kim, I love seeing your face. So you're standing in an empty condo. What are we looking at right now?
You're looking at a naked condo, and you're going to notice right away that it's super echoey. We're always yammering on about you need carpets and you need drapes so the acoustics are better, and this proves it, right? No furniture, no drapes, nothing to distract you yet, but I do have my coffee sign, which we found at a junkyard. So I thought, I got to have that first. That's the first thing that's going into the condo.
First of all, that is so cool. And for a coffee lover like me, I just think that's so, it gives it such personality. That's lovely. Okay, what is the first area that we should upgrade in this space?
Well, when you're moving into a new place, I always think tackle head on the biggest problems. So this condo had three big problems. Number one, the foyer was way too dark. Number two, there were two bedrooms, but they were too small. And number three, low ceilings. So affordable solutions. In the foyer, we were able to remove an upper portion of wall. And of course, you have to check that there's nothing structural there, there's no electrical cords or whatever. But once you verify that, removing a small section of wall exploded light into the foyer and opened it up to the views. It was like a game changer, and it was really a not expensive change as well. Then we had these two bedrooms, both super small, but there's only one couple that lives here. So why do we need two bedrooms when there might be a guest who comes once or twice a year? It's less expensive to put your guests at a hotel than it is to decorate a second bedroom. So by removing the wall between the two bedrooms, we get this one big old bedroom, which is awesome. And then when you're gonna sell, you put the drywall back up and you have a two-bedroom condo again. So that was great. The third thing is, wow, if you're in a condo, this was like a gift from heaven. We were actually able to raise the ceilings. There was an acoustic tile ceiling, and we were removing things and we're like, whoa, wait a minute, there's nothing above it. 18 inches of heaven, which made the space go from 8 feet to 9.5 feet. Huge, huge difference. So tackle the biggest problems first.
That is incredible. And you're right. We always think to ourselves, I need that guest room. But do you need the guest room? Do you really need the guest room? Especially now during a pandemic, no one's coming over. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about ways to enhance the doors. What tips do you have for us there?
Man, how many times have you been into a house where you walk in and there's like 5 doors staring in your face? That's how many doors there are in the foyer of this condo. 5. So that's a lot of doors. To minimize that kind of visual noise, the first thing you do is everything one color. So at the moment, you're gonna see everything is white. It's not gonna stay that way. I've got some sexy grass cloth planned for those walls, but by making everything white, it immediately is quieter. And then if you can, take the doors all the way to the ceiling. Oh, I mean, it's not exactly super cheap, but it's not terribly expensive, and it creates a huge feeling of luxury when you walk in. It's just so much better. Now, if you can't take the doors all the way to the ceiling, that's okay. Do what we did over the entrance door here. We added some paneling, and once we finish with grass cloth and everything, it's gonna feel like that entrance door is much, much taller. So pay attention to doors.
Very grand. And you know what? Windows can make a big difference as well. So let's talk about how you can maximize the windows.
Well, hello, 1961. That's when this condo was built. And you can see the windows are kind of small, but back then it was like the height of luxury to have all this glass, right? Especially when we made the ceiling taller, the windows even felt dinkier. So what are we gonna do? Drapes won't solve the problem, plus there's a ton of sunlight. So what we did is we thought for sure we need blinds, and we built the valance boxes that you see there so that the blinds will tuck up and under the valance and the rest completely hidden away, which is really, really nice. But another tip, if you want to make your windows feel like they're a better size, you could add a piece of furniture underneath the window. Now in the dining room, you can see I've got a built-in there, but you could just put a chest of drawers or even a bench or something to just give the windows a little bit more, kind of ground the windows, if you will.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what if we can't sort of improve our natural light? Let's talk about the artificial light. What can we do there?
Right. Okay, lighting is all about layering. You've got to have layers. You can't rely just on pot lights or just on lamps. You need a mix. So here it was really fun. You know how pot lights, they can be big, they can be clunky. Now we are starting to see pot lights that have no trim at all. They are just a small sliver of light in the ceiling and they are so sexy. So that's what we did here. We added sconces. Of course, we've got overhead lights. We've got a light in the living room, a light in the dining room. And the big tip there is if you're going to have adjacent lights, you want them to end up being approximately the same height when it's all finished.
Okay, speaking of lighting, we have a question for you, Kim. This is from our viewer inbox.
I built an orangery where I garden and entertain. There are 3 large open beams in the room. It's a large room, and the bottom of the beam hits about 10 feet high, so it's very high ceilings. Please let me know where I should place my chandeliers. How high? Thank you.
Wow. Okay, first of all, an orangery. That sounds kind of luxurious and fabulous, and I hope we get an invitation. Those chandeliers are gorgeous, but they're like tucked up into the eaves of the ceiling, so all their lighting is the ceiling. So you want them to come down where they can do what they're supposed to do, which is light the room. I would drop them below the beams so you can really see how pretty they are. They come lower if you put a piece of furniture under them. But if they're just free floating in the room and you're having a grand ball and people are dancing, keep them about 9 feet high.
I want a grand ball and people are dancing. This is fantastic.
Right?
Yes, you're making me dream of the post-pandemic days. Kimberly, thank you so much. Great tips as always.